One day, birds started to sing and big trees landed on the earth. One early morning, the first people of my tribe woke up, and since then, for generations, they have been living in nature amidst the forest and the trees. My name is Mundiya Kepanga. I'm a Papuan chief of the Huli tribe and an ambassador of the forest. I traveled the world to share a message that concerns us all. My forest is threatened, and if we do nothing to save it, the whole of humanity will disappear. Soon, we will not be able to go back to how it was. With the help of the film crew which accompanied me throughout my journey, I made this movie to warn you about the tragedies that will occur if we do not take care of our planet's large trees. My tribe has always lived in the heart of one of the last remaining primary forests in the world, in Papua New Guinea. Maybe you don't know where my country is, but it's you, the white men, who invented maps. So you'll see that it's in the Pacific Ocean, just north of Australia. In my language, the ancient forests born when the world was created are called Iraputangenda. White people call them primary forests because they have not been changed by man. They have become very rare, and there are virtually none left on Earth. Only in the Amazon, the Congo Basin, and in my country, Papua New Guinea. Probably because man loves leaving his mark everywhere. This forest does not belong to me alone. It belongs to all the creatures that live here. The strangest and the most beautiful alike. Most of these animals don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Like the tree kangaroo, the Victoria crowned pigeon, and my favorite, the bird of paradise. The biggest one is a very curious animal. Solitary, grouchy, shy, and keen to pick a fight. It can kill a man with its claws, and it is the most dangerous animal in the jungle. We call it Jerry, but white people call it cassowary. By eating seeds and dispersing them in their droppings, they participate in the regeneration of the forest. We believe cassowaries are our ancestors because our great-great-great-grandparents came from a cassowary egg. The tall white guy, pretending to take notes to look important in the movie, is my French friend Marc Dozier. When I first met him, he had long hair, but that was a long time ago. Now he's lost all his hair and he looks like an old beetle. Like me, he knows and loves my forest, which he has photographed for over 20 years.
As Mundiya taught me, the Papuan forest is a huge reservoir of biodiversity, home to more animal and plant species than the whole of Europe. Covering 70% of the country, the Papuan forest hosts over 20,000 plant species, 1,500 tree species, 3,000 insect species, and over 750 bird species. These figures show that the country is one of the world's wildlife sanctuaries.
I'm a man of the forest, and quite frankly, I don't know how to make a movie. So, along with Marc, there is a crew that accompanies us. Luc, Pierre, and Francois. And they use all sorts of very strange cameras so that I can tell you my story. This forest was left to us by our ancestors. For generations, they took care of it, so that we can go home every day with our arms full of food. But today, it is in danger of disappearing. And with this film, I want you to see this with your own eyes. During the time it takes to watch this movie, over 150 tall trees are felled in my country, thousands every day. That's why I want to show to the world the pillage of our land. On the east coast, in the Vanimo province, one of the most affected by deforestation, one of our contacts sneaked us onto a logging concession in a car with tinted windows.
Roger, are they cutting trees at the moment where we are going?
Yeah, they're operating at full throttle for more than 5 years now. Okay, we're arriving at the camp.
And you, Pierre, be careful with the drone. We don't want them to see us.
Yeah, keep a low profile. Don't open your windows. The bosses are in the offices and you don't want them to see you. Once we've left this camp, I'll take you to the site of operations and the landowner's village.
Okay, Roger, don't worry, we'll be careful.
I've asked the managers many times for permission to come here, but they refuse because they don't want us to see what they're doing. Look, there on the balcony. That must be one of the bosses. Now that we left the camp, we can go to the logging site and meet the Papa ground.
In our language, Papa ground are very important, as they are the landowners of my country. Our forests, our valleys, and our mountains traditionally belong to clans who must authorize their exploitation. It's the Papa ground, Papuans like me, who work for the logging companies. It's our own hands that hold the chainsaws and operate the bulldozers. It is the only way for them to survive. By selling their trees and chopping them down themselves, all for meager pay. But I don't hold it against them. They don't want to live like wild animals. They are hired by foreigners who come from Malaysia, the Philippines or Indonesia, and we've nicknamed them Kongkongs. They command and we obey. The foremen are not bad people, they're just poor people who come to earn a living by cutting down our trees. Once we got to the site, the foreman even let us film what we wanted. Every day, the chainsaws cut huge trunks as easily as ripe bananas. And as they fall, the tall trees cry out, as though they're saying farewell to their family and the entire forest. It doesn't make you sad to cut down these trees?
Yes. Sometimes it makes me sad. Because we're cutting down a lot, and mostly because, as they fall, the big trees damage those around them.
And you're happy to do this work?
Yes, of course. Thanks to this job, I earn a bit of money to feed my family and buy what we need.
Yes, you're doing your best to survive. Without this work, you would have nothing to eat. I understand.
Today, the government has authorized over 300 logging concessions. Out of the country's 46 million hectares of land, more than 15 million are exploited by foreign companies. This is 1/3 of the country's surface area. It's like 1/3 of France was handed over to bulldozers and chainsaws. Logging companies look for two very valuable timber commodities: Murbo, which is used to make hardwood flooring and furniture, and Bitangor, which is used to make plywood.
They are thieves, liars. They cut down the trees and then they pay us peanuts. 2,000, 1,000, 5,000 kina. Here in Niao, everything has been destroyed. And nothing was built in return. No infrastructure for the community. Our forest has really disappeared for nothing. We got nothing in return. Absolutely nothing.
All one.
The problem is that some of us who are more educated have signed contracts without the agreement of the whole community. And when we tried to complain, the logging companies from Malaysia corrupt our own police here in Papua New Guinea. They come to arrest us and scare us. That's the problem.
I'm truly sorry for you, but we must understand something. If we let these companies destroy our forest, what will become of our children? They will have to go and settle on the lands of another tribe because they won't have anything to eat. That's what's going to happen. Look where we are standing right now, beneath a tree, and it protects us from the sun. It's nice in the shade of a tree, but without it, you will no longer have any place to seek refuge and live in peace. Once the trees have been cut down, they leave the land of the Papa ground in big special trucks called zingas. Frankly, I don't know what zinga means, but I know where all these trucks go. They take the wood to the sea to be loaded onto ships. It's a real tree cemetery here.
Marc, come.
Come and see, come. Stand there. Come and measure this tree. You see, it's higher than your ears. This tree is one of the oldest in the world. Maybe it was the first tree in the world. Maybe it's the father of all the trees in the forest. We can replant trees, but none of them will ever grow as tall. With climate change and environmental degradation, there will be no more trees like this one. How old do you think it is?
It must be 700 or 800 years old.
They have cut a tree born at the beginning of time just to sell it in China. Our children, our grandchildren will never see trees like this one. Stay there. I'm going to get your camera.
Go ahead. Okay.
Don't laugh, this is very serious. It may be the last big tree in the world. So I'm taking a photo as a souvenir for future generations.
Should I smile or not?
As a son of the forest, I don't feel like laughing. But you're white, and you buy wood from the Asians, so you can be happy. Once a month, the logs are loaded onto enormous cargo ships. That's how our trees leave my country. I've heard that it's possible to fit over 3,000 logs onto one single ship. So, the film crew and I decided to send a flying camera to verify that.
Mark, look at the logs.
Wow. Look him now.
Since 2014, Papua New Guinea has become the world's leading exporter of tropical wood. Every year, almost 5 million cubic meters leave the country, mainly as logs or rough cut trunks, despite the international community trying to impose regulations to limit illegal logging.
Where I come from, nobody knows what happens to our wood. This is why Marc and I showed a movie to the Papa ground of Vanimo. They cut down our trees and load them onto their ships. But you've no idea where the wood goes and what they do with it. You'll find out by watching this movie. Once they have cut down our tallest trees, they fill up the holes of their ships. Today, timber provenance is more strictly controlled to ensure it has been harvested legally, but our wood leaves directly for China. We used a hidden camera to film the Malaysian middlemen saying that our trees come from his country.
Okay, now,
they cut our wood. They chop it into pieces. They make hardwood flooring, paper, boxes, but also doors, chairs, and all sorts of things. I wonder how much money they make with it all. We'll never know. Then they send these items to New Zealand, Australia, America, and to a lesser extent to Europe. They make money with our trees. Today, there are international certifications requiring that logging companies participate in the development of the communities from which they get the wood, so that it benefits the Papa ground and contributes to the building of schools and hospitals, so that we all benefit from the trade in our trees. Everywhere in my country, the environment is threatened. In the past, our land was protected by our constitution and our customary rights. The trees, the streams, and the animals in the forest belonged to us, and nobody could take them without our permission. But since 2007, a new law called SABL changed everything. This law was supposed to allow Papa ground to develop farming projects. But in reality, it only allowed the Kongkongs to exploit our land, and this accelerated deforestation. Many calls were made to revoke SABL leases, But no politician has actually done it. No one except the governor of Oru province, Gary Jufa. Born to an Irish father and Papuan mother, Gary always dresses in black as a sign of mourning for our forest. We nicknamed him and his bodyguards the Men in Black.
We're going to the Bay of Oro because I strongly suspect something's wrong. Normally, they should stop their activity. I want to verify that this operation is not selling logs because that's been banned. As you know, this province is the only one to have banned SABL leases. Malaysians cannot come and cut down all our trees and fill their pockets while leaving our people with nothing. 60% of them don't even have the right to be here because they don't have work permits. They pillage our land all over the country. But that won't happen in our province. So I want to go and see for myself.
Right now, there's very little control in most of the provinces. Developers who are here to take whatever they want, and they make enormous profits. Besides making the profits that they do on the sale of the timber, they are often evading or avoiding the payment of taxes. They don't build anything, there's very little infrastructure. They live a bare, deforested area. The world doesn't care that it is these trees that provide the air that they breathe. You see, yet they want us to preserve this, but they're not willing to come and assist us in any way.
Yes. People like me from the villages are poor and cannot preserve their forest by themselves. Whenever one gives them 50 kina, they goggle and think that will allow them to survive one more day.
Government is failing because in these areas there's no development. So the people are so starved of development that they are willing to give all their timber away. So a few of us who are aware of what's happening, we have to link up with our people in the villages, like our chiefs here, and work with them and say, look, it is time to take action to protect our land and our future. This processing plant here, we have allowed it to stay in operation because they are downstream processing, okay? They are not shipping out round logs. But I found out that they have actually been shipping out from time to time without, our permission. Are there any foreign workers here? There are about seven. Okay, get all of them to come out as well. And who's the general manager of this place? Hello?
Yes.
Your name is? He. How are you, He? My name is Gary.
Gary, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
But are you guys still operating?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. This one I'm not sure. Because this one now you need to, this one is boss.
Who's your boss?
You can find them like
Steve. And all your foreign workers, you have your listings of them?
Yes.
Okay. Bring them and I see them. So anyway, I understand that you have been, you guys purchase timber from our local landowners and process them. Go around log exports. Ask your workers to come, bring all their passports, huh? What's your name? Yu Chen Chai. Okay, from Malaysia also.
Yeah.
No passport?
Passport?
Okay, come.
I have the new
Okay, we see.
original one.
Okay. And yours?
This one office
Also from. And are you training any of our local staff or not?
Yeah, thank you.
The problem is that many of these people do not fulfill the work permit requirements. The work permit says that they are to provide training opportunities for all citizen employees. They never train anyone. They come and work and make money and don't train anybody and they go. Am true, huh? Also training people too or no god? Am no god, huh? So no god trainings are come up. Now walk people so walking one can walk. It's probably unfair to ask you any questions, huh? Because I'm curious. I want to know. What is this new building for?
This one we just now we upgraded this one mill.
It's a what?
Upgrade the mill.
Upgrade the mill. But I thought you people are scaling down because you people say I'm not signing the work permits. How come? Your bosses are lying. The companies that are coming in, they are a pest. They have no consideration for our people or the environment or the future. When they see a tree, all they see is how can they convert the tree into profits in their bank accounts.
Gary Jufa has succeeded in closing down all the logging operations in Oro province. This is the last one, but it is living on borrowed time. In this province, like in many coastal regions of Papua New Guinea, the primary forest has been replaced by immense farms where they grow plants that look like giant weeds. They are called oil palms. These plantations, which cover thousands of hectares, provide employment for many Papuan workers. Once harvested, the fruit is pressed and produces the most consumed oil in the world, palm oil. It is found in chocolate, cookies, and thousands of other products. On one of the plantations in Popondetta, I met a man who comes from the same region as me.
Hi, brother.
Hello, brother.
Hey, brother.
You mean, bro, I didn't say you.
We both come from the mountains, and I'm happy to see you. It looks like you're okay here. Can you earn a living for your whole family working on this palm oil plantation?
Yes, I'm happy to be here. I'm paid 100 kina a day, a house, electricity, running water.
Ah, 100 kina a day. That's a lot. How was it before? Was it a jungle here?
Yeah, there used to be a big forest here. The oil palm plantations began in 1976 and the forest was destroyed throughout the region.
It's really not easy to strike a balance. Part of the destroyed forest is replaced by these palm oil plantations that generate cash. But this is done at the expense of biodiversity. Birds of paradise, cassowaries, and all the other species are disappearing. Only kites remain. Are the plantations that replace my forests a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Like everyone in the world, we must make use of our land. During one of my trips to France, I was able to make a plea for my trees before several French senators and environmental specialists. My forest, which I consider as my own family, is in danger. And it's to plead its case that I am here before you today.
We're now convinced that it's necessary to preserve the last remaining forests in the world, and particularly the equatorial forests. Forests play a key role in the planet's climatic and natural balance.
The problem is that it is easy to talk, as we're doing now, but nobody really acts to limit climate change and protect my forest. I'm just a humble chief. I would like to ask you to help me by asking your government to collaborate with my country to protect my forest.
A European regulation was introduced a little over 3 years ago to ban from the European common market any wood illegally harvested.
And moreover, from now on, we're going to progressively ban the import of any wood without a certificate of compliance that safeguards the interests of the local population.
I would like to thank you and my colleagues for discussing this together. And you are much more than a single grain of sand. You are a rock.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. The earth will dry up, people will die, and the climate will change irreversibly. That's what is going to happen if we don't take care of the forest. Do you think that we are fish that don't need air? Do you feel this fresh air? It is pure, really pure. And where does it come from? It comes directly from my forest. Think about that. Yes, we breathe the air produced by all the forests in the world. That's why I'm asking you, all of you, to help me take care of my forest. Even if this speech is just a dream, I hope that it will reach the minds of those who pass the laws here. If today few politicians try to protect my forest, I know that its future lies in the hands of the leaders of tomorrow, and I never miss an occasion to meet with them. Hello, children. My name is Mundiya Kepanga. I come from Papua New Guinea, and the most important thing to me is my forest. And this coconut tree here is my translator, and we're going to show you a movie we made about insects. It presents a solution that may help us save parts of the forest. In Papua New Guinea, there are over 900 species of butterflies, such as the Alexander, the Argus, and the Primus. The largest are called birdwings, and they are sought after by collectors from all over the world. I accompanied Brownie Mumble, a butterfly exporter, during one of his trips to the village of Kawawage.
Very few people know it, but insects are an excellent way of earning money. Not for people in cities, but for poor people who live in villages like you. That's why I'm here, to show you how you can earn a bit of money by raising butterflies. This is a legal activity for which I have an export license. Look, a giant butterfly, the Ornithoptera Goliath. It's worth 10 kina. It's the second biggest butterfly in the world. That one is the Ornithoptera Primus Poseidon. The male is worth 2 kina, and the female 1 kina, or 3 kina for both. Butterflies are worth between 10 toea and 1,000 kina. If I tell you that this butterfly is worth 200 kina, you'll be surprised to learn that it lives just outside your door in your forest. That's why you have to take care of your forest. These animals live only in forests, and if you destroy them, you'll lose the chance to earn money by collecting a few specimens.
Okay, you may go find more butterfly. Butterfly,
I'll first show you how to catch butterflies and raise them like children. And when you're searching for them, you must watch carefully.
There's one there.
Okay, good luck.
This is the species I was hoping to find. Look at that. It's a male in pretty good condition. We'll keep it, okay? Come on now, we'll take this one. Let's go.
The giant butterflies lay their eggs on a vine called Aristolochia, which grows on the big trees. Their leaves are the caterpillar's favorite food. One of Brownie's students, Cornwall, plants his vines at the foot of the trunks in order to encourage their growth. He can then collect the caterpillars that thrive on it.
Let's put the caterpillar and the butterfly in my aviary.
Cornwall protects the birdwings and caterpillars from predators in his aviary. That's the principle of butterfly ranching. The forest becomes a butterfly farm with the necessary trees that we must preserve. From the trees, we collect the butterflies whose eggs turn into caterpillars. Kept safe from the birds, they then produce many chrysalises.
These are my chrysalises. They are Priamus butterfly pupa. Look, I think some are ready to open. Just as they're about to hatch, they become completely black.
Yeah, that one's quite black.
Cornwall has a surprise for us: to watch the birth of the largest butterfly in the world. Queen Alexandra's birdwing. The butterfly with bird wings named after Queen Alexandra. The wingspan of the females of this species, which lives only in the forests of Oro province, can reach 27 centimeters. Today, its trade is strictly prohibited because it has become very rare due to deforestation.
Come on, let's go back.
Maybe you think it's sad to sell butterflies. Me too. But this business has very little impact on the environment because it mainly involves farmed butterflies. Their sacrifice helps us save parts of the forest and thousands of animals.
Now I'm going to show you the technique to preserve butterflies. You have to hold it like this, well-centered. I use the pins to set the wings in the right position. Just like that. After letting it dry for several hours, I can put it in its box. In the forest, this butterfly has no value. But once in a box, the rarest ones can be worth $300 US. I really want you to have it. You travel around the world to talk about our forest, so I'm giving it to you as an example. Maybe that will make people want to buy one.
Okay, thank you, True. Thank you, True.
Are there pet butterflies in Papua New Guinea?
No. Insects and butterflies are friendly, but they're not very obedient. If you respect nature, the butterflies will come and land on you, on your nose, on your eyes, on your shoulders, or your mouth. And they'll come and fly all around you. Oh, you're a true butterfly girl.
I can fly in the sky. Going up now.
While white men go to school in classrooms, in my tribe, school is outside, amidst the trees, in the school of the forest. Traditionally, the teachers lead their pupils to a secret spot where, month after month, they learn to become men. That class hidden in the forest is called Ibakija, the school of the river. Every day, the young men drink a magic water to stimulate the growth of their hair. We Hulis believe that the spirit grows at the same time as the hair. And it's during this period of initiation that the elders teach them everything they should know about nature, animals, trees, the rules to live together, and how to take care of their body. Three times a day, their hair is watered, just like our gardens, so that it grows quicker. For several years, unmarried young men live in reclusion in the forest to obtain wigs that will serve as a headdress. Aluje, my young cousin, has spent 3 years in this school, and we are going to give him his diploma. This ritual, Manda Korara, is the most important in the life of a man. And I'm proud that we were able to film it for this documentary because this ceremony has become very rare. The headdress, or manda, is braided to keep the hair together. Once cut, it is the symbol of our wisdom. With this last snip of the scissors, Aluje is considered an adult and a son of the forest. He will be able to dance and to seduce women. Our headdresses, our paints and our adornments are not just costumes that have no meaning. They signify that we are men and that we are guardians of the forest. We decorate them with feathers for all the grand occasions. They are nature's jewels, as precious as a king's crown. After several hours of preparation, the men get together to dance the kumya, a word that means bird of paradise in our language. Adorned with feathers, we imitate their nuptial parades. Around the main group that sets the beat with the kundus, 2 soloists imitate male birds who fight to seduce a female. Men are like birds. Those who have the most beautiful plumage get the most attention. Now that Aluje's hair-cutting ceremony is over, I should tell you that it is the last time that I will be wearing my most beautiful headdress. I decided to donate it to a museum in France. You will never again see it on me, on my head. It is leaving for another country. I hope you're not angry. Be proud, because it is going to represent our culture. This is going to go on a great journey. Don't worry. The French will take good care of them. White, black, or red. There are people of all colors in the world, but they are all human beings, even if they have different customs and cultures. I'm very proud to leave here my ornaments that come from the forest. You know, they are the most precious things in the world for me. They carry a very important message. You and your children and your children's children must take care of the world's forests.
It's obviously a very great honor for the museum to receive this headdress. This headdress symbolizes the bonds that the Museum of Mankind wants to weave with humanity in all its richness and its diversity. And I thank you again for coming and for this gift that you are offering us. An absolutely exceptional gift. Thank you again.
If you will allow me, I would like to have one last word with my headdress. You will no longer sit on my head. You will no longer dance. You will live in this museum forever. Here, you will be well looked after. And I want you to whisper in the visitors' ears that they must think about the impact of climate change and take care of nature, because otherwise we will all die. Now it's in your hands. I really love cities, even if I come from the forest. My rivers, my trees, and its inhabitants belong to all the people on the planet. They're a world heritage, a precious monument which we must all look after. I never went to school, but I give lectures around the world to protect my forest. The climate is changing, and who here can predict the future? And I met very important men and women.
Paris?
Yes, in Paris.
That's me.
Like Irina Bokova, director of UNESCO. The Indian chief, Raoni, who fights for the preservation of the Amazonian forest. And even the American actor, Robert Ford. I really have a hard time pronouncing his name. In my village, no one knows him, but he is very famous. And he's been fighting to preserve the environment for over 40 years. He invited me to UNESCO to present images of my forest. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm just a little movie director with my movie. The great director here is Robert Ford, who is in this room today.
Okay, thank you, Robert Ford.
Thank you, Robert Ford. I have a small present, a gift for you, a gift that comes from my forest. This axe signifies that we are the guardians of the forest. And I am giving it to you because you too are a protector of the environment.
You tell him that he and I are both parents of the forest.
Last week, me come back, friends.
Last week, I was in France, and I met someone very important. I invited him here, and we'll have to make a place for him in our community hut, because he's going to sleep here with us, in our men's house. My friends, Robert Ford, you, me. Everyone loves the forest, but everyone takes part in its destruction. Us Papa Ground We cut down our trees in exchange for a few kina. The Kong Kong sell them and make a large profit. And me, I'm just a very humble tribal chief from Papua. But I went to your land to alert the whole world. When all the trees will have disappeared, man will disappear too. It is up to us to see that when the world ends, all that is left is not just silence and darkness.
Atas the sky.
Well, that's the end of my movie. Forgive me if I was a fountain of words. I think I rattled on a bit.